Alright guys, it turns out I'm even more clueless than we first thought. That's right. This entire time since the next gen update has been live, I have been playing Crucible at 60 frames per second, even though I went into the menu and I set it to 120 Hz in the Crucible and all that good stuff. You see that 120 Hz mode on? But basically, because I use a capture card to play and record, that is basically interfering with my signal and kind of limiting the output to 60 Hz, meaning you can only get 60 frames per second when using a capture card. Now, the problem is, out of all of Elgato's capture cards that they have available, only one capture card out of all of them allows you to have more than 60 Hz pass-through when playing. Now, I know this might be a bit technical and a little bit alien to any of you guys who've never used a capture card. And by the way, the problem that I'm having will not apply to you if you're not using a capture card. Basically, in simple terms, if you have your PlayStation 5 directly connected to your monitor, you will not be having this problem. As long as your monitor is over 120 Hz, you're getting 120 frames in the Crucible on Destiny 2 on next-gen consoles. Problem for me though, obviously, is I am a content creator, and so my PlayStation is not connected directly to my monitor. No, I have a capture card. Now again, if you guys don't know how this works, I'll try and explain it to you in a way that is simple to understand. But basically, the PlayStation 5 has a HDMI slot, right? So that HDMI wire goes from the back of my PS5 into the capture card that is inside my PC, right? And then a wire goes into that capture card in the PC, and that goes to the monitor. So basically, the capture card is in between the monitor and the PlayStation 5. It's kind of like the connector, if you will. And because I have the HD60 Pro, which is relatively outdated at this point, it's not capable of allowing anything more than 60 Hz to pass through the capture card. So I need to get myself a 4K 60 Pro from Elgato. It's very expensive. It's top of the line technology. And unfortunately, as of right now, it is the only capture card that Elgato offer that will basically allow you to have 120 FPS in Crucible whilst using a capture card. So all of this time I've been playing at 60 FPS, and I'm not gonna lie, something did feel a little bit off the first time I got into the Crucible, but I kind of put that entirely down to the fact that I was using a DualSense controller without back buttons and paddles, and I thought that's why I was struggling so much. But lo and behold, in this match that you're seeing, this is the very first game that I played with 120 FPS on PS5, and the only way I was able to do it was basically by disconnecting my capture card and all of that stuff. So right now I'm completely connected from the monitor directly to the PlayStation 5, and I'm getting the maximum settings, including HDR as well. My capture card also blocked out HDR, so I wasn't able to get that increase in graphical fidelity. So basically, my HD60 Pro is some outdated technology at this point, and it's not really good for next gen consoles. So I have put an order in for the 4K 60 Pro from Elgato. I do want to let you guys know that I am not sponsored by Elgato. Somehow I'm not sponsored by them, but if anyone at Elgato is watching, listen man, there's some free advertisement for your 4K 60 Pro capture card, eh? Hook a boy up. Although I'm saying hook me up even though I've already put the order in. That thing cost me like £200 as well. Not cheap. But I figured since I'm going to be committing to PS5, I might as well make the investment to get the best technology possible in order to, give you guys the best gameplay, the best video quality, and all of that good stuff. Now again, this is the first time I played with 120 FPS, and now I could really feel that gap now between me and maybe last gen players, because having 120 frames against players who have 30 frames is kind of ridiculous. That being said, I'm unsure if I was actually playing any PS4 players in this video. The reason why I say that is because Bungie mentioned the cross-gen matchmaking was not always working, and I think when it's not working, there's a super long queue time, and at the moment, my queue times are super long in general when I'm playing. So yeah, I think I might be up against PS5 guys here, but either way man, this is just feeling so good. This game right here is probably the best match I've had since I switched to PS5, and again, no coincidence, I finally got 120 FPS for the first time, and now I can honestly say, yes, this is absolutely superb. I guess it just goes to show I'm not a very technical guy, I'll be honest with you. If it's not abundantly obvious as it is, I really don't know much about these things, which I guess is why I was not able to immediately tell that I've been playing at 60 frames this entire time, even though I've been playing on PC for like a year now. probably slightly over a year with 144 frames per second, and I wasn't able to 100% differentiate between that and 60 frames. So it just goes to show that, you know, I don't have a clue what I'm talking about, guys, but I kind of do have a clue now. We are clued up. And again, if anyone's watching this and you do have your PlayStation 5 connected to a capture card, you need to make sure that you change that if you want to get 120 FPS. And if you're wondering how I'm recording this footage if I disconnected my capture card, well, I'm just using the in-game options to save and record gameplay. It's actually pretty decent. The loss of quality isn't too bad. My only complaint with Sony's video capturing software is that there's no cloud system. So in order to transfer footage, I have to do the, you know, connect my hard drive to the PS5, install it onto the hard drive, disconnect it, put it on my PC and all that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't take that long, but I think, you know, it's a little bit outdated having to do that. Surely they should have a cloud system. Ideally, I would like to record clips on my PS5 and then just send those straight to my Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever. But obviously they do not have that technology just yet. Maybe they are working on it though. I hope they are working on it because it would make my life a little bit easier. That being said, I do like the quality of the footage. It came out pretty good. I know the thing is as well with viewers haven't been able to tell about the frame rate issue either, because obviously you only record footage at 60 frames per second, right? So even if you're getting 120 FPS in game, that will not really be replicated in the footage in the background. That being said, with the Elgato 4K 60 Pro, I will be able to record in 120 frames. So I'm going to see if I could maybe do that just for videos, just to really illustrate how nice it feels, and it really might be some nice quality footage. We can of course also record in 4K, but of course when you're in the Crucible, it downscales your resolution to 1080p in order to output that 120 FPS. So again, probably no real reason for me to use 4K, I guess. But that being said, I'm just excited to get my hands on the Elgato 4K 60 Pro just to finish off my PlayStation 5 setup. I also received my Battle Beaver DualSense today, and my goodness, is it beautiful. Now I'm going to focus on that more in another video. I'm still kind of waiting, but maybe I could do a standalone video on the Battle Beaver, but I want to wait until we have some confirmed release dates for the final version of the controller, and then maybe I will do a focused review video. If you're interested in seeing some pictures of my Battle Beaver controller though, make sure you head over to my Twitter page. I have been tweeting out some screenshots of the controller, and let me tell you, it is absolutely beautiful. I really am enjoying using it. And you know, I went from one day I'm playing 60 FPS with no back buttons, the next day I'm at 120 frames and I've got back buttons, smart triggers, Z sticks, the full works. 50 bombs only, you know, 50 bombs only. 48 defeats there with my first 120 frame game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.